name is Nur Fakira Azra. Now, I'm from Group 4, gonna talk about US job growth snapback in November shutdown distort unemployment rate. First of all, unemployment is when people who are in the working age group and able or will to work but unable to find a suitable group, so it represents the numbers of people in workforce who want to work but are unable to get a job. So, the article shows more people found work in November than expected, which brings some relief after a difficult previous month, but at the same time, more people were left without jobs, pushing the unemployment rate up to 4.6%. On top of that, a government shutdown disrupted how the data was collected, making the numbers feel a bit uncertain rather than definitive. Altogether, it suggests an economy that is still moving forward, but more slowly and unevenly, with many workers feeling the strain even as job creation continues. And now, I'm going to talk about the body one. First of all, US job growth increased by 64,000 jobs in November after a large drop in October and a government shutdown disrupted data collection. It's affecting the accuracy of the unemployment rate. Also, economists focus more on private sector job growth to access labor market conditions in cyclical unemployment. So, the first one is the type of unemployment. Is it because cyclical unemployment occurs when job losses or slow job creation happen due to an economic slowdown or uncertainty in the business cycle? In this case, the sharp drop in job growth in October, followed by only a modest increase in November, indicates weakening labor demand, which is typical during periods of slower economic growth. Economic decision to focus on private sector job creation further suggests concern about underlying economic conditions rather than individual job matching or skill mismatches. Although the government shutdown affected data accuracy, the unemployment trend reflects reduced hiring linked to cyclical economic condition. Next, the decline of 105,000 jobs in the federal government is a specific structural event. Even though the private sector is growing, a government worker might not have immediate skills or certification to jump straight into healthcare or construction role. So, this shows that the type of unemployment is structural unemployment. Moreover, the unemployment rate 4.6% in November, the highest is more than 4 years. So, this shows that cyclical unemployment was a type of unemployment for those statements. Is this because when the economy weakens, businesses usually reduce hiring workers and lead to cyclical unemployment? Furthermore, a government shutdown disrupted data collection, affecting the accuracy of the unemployment rate. Furthermore, job gains were mainly seen in healthcare, construction, and social assistance sectors are frictional unemployment. This representative shows while people were lost in one sector, such as the government, others were being hired in these growing sectors. The time it takes for a worker to move from a declining sector to a growing one is considered frictional unemployment. That's all from me.
So for body 2, the first point is job growth rebounded in November after a sharp decline in October. So, as we all know, the sharp decline in job growth in October can be explained by cyclical unemployment. Cyclical unemployment happens when the company slows down and aggregate demand fall. During this period, business earn lower profit, and so they reduce production and lay off workers to cut costs. When more people lost their job, consumer spending decreased, which made the economic slowdown worse. This is known as the multiplier effect. However, job growth rebounded in November. This indicates that aggregate demand started to recover. When economic conditions improve, firms become more confident. They increase production and begin to rehire workers. As a result, cyclical unemployment decreased as the company moved toward an upswing. So point 2, job growth in the private sector. It's very important for new entrants into the workforce such as fresh graduate, young job seeker, and people working for the first time. When the private sector creates more jobs, new entrants get real opportunity to start their career. With more job opening available, they can find a job faster and avoid a long period of unemployment. Working also allows them to gain experience, develop skill, and earn their own income. As more new entrants employed, the unemployment rate decreased. Next, the increase in jobs in the healthcare and construction sector create more opportunity for re-entrants, which are people returning to work after taking a break. This sector have high demand for workers, making it easier for re-entrants to find jobs and rejoin the workforce. When they return to work, they can earn income and update their skill to remain relevant. Employment growth in this sector also help reduce unemployment and make the labour market more stable. So, for the last point, economists stated that there was no material deterioration in labour market condition. This suggests that economy is operating close to its natural rate of unemployment. At this level, unemployment occurs because people are changing jobs, lack skill, or are searching for better opportunity. This type of unemployment is normal and expected, showing that the labour market is balanced.
So, body 3. Based on the November data, the unemployment rate increased to 4.6%, which is the highest level since 2021. This increase reflects the presence of cyclical unemployment, which occurs when economic growth slows and employers become more confident and be careful in making hiring decisions. Since job growth has been little changed since April, many employers are uncertain about economic condition and are not confident in expanding their workforce. As a result, even though there was some improvement in job number in November, many individuals are still facing difficulties in finding employment. In addition, employment in the transportation and warehousing sector declined by 18,000 jobs, particularly among courier and messenger. This situation indicates structural and unemployment. Where changes in industry demand and economic structure have causes a mismatch between workers' skills and available jobs. Workers who previously depends on this position may struggle to move into another sector, especially if they lack alternative skills or training. increasing the risk of long-term unemployment. Furthermore, federal government employment continued to decline due to policy decision and downsizing rather than voluntary job separation, which further supports the existence of structural unemployment in the labor market. Moreover, wage growth slowed to 3.5%, the slowest pace since 2021. This reflects the impact of higher unemployment and excess labor supply, which reduce worker bargaining power to demand higher wages. Slower wage growth can negatively affect workers' standard of living and reduce overall consumer spending. When consumer spending decreases, economic recovery may slow down further, making it more difficult for the labor market to fully improve. Overall, although there has been some recovery in job growth, unemployment remains a significant issue, as both cyclical and structural unemployment continue to affect job security, income level, and economic stability.
The last one is 44. This section highlights the economic effects of import tariffs. Economists say employers are becoming more cautious in hiring due to Trump's sweeping import tariffs. These tariffs increase the price of goods, causing lower and middle-income consumers to reduce their spending. As a result, retail sales in October remained flat, indicating weak consumer demand. Following these signals, the stock market declined, the dollar weakened, and treasury yields fell. In conclusion, the US labor market is recovering slowly even though employment has increased. The unemployment rate rose to 4.6%, showing that unemployment is still a problem. This is mainly due to cyclical unemployment from a slowing economy, along with structural and frictional unemployment caused by changes in industries and job transitions. Overall, economic uncertainty may increase unemployment risk in the future.